This is case number 23S00575FY. People say the Michigan versus Clarence Allen III.
Robert Shripley.
Yeah.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Attorney Mike Baldwin, County Counsel P65417, on behalf of my client, the defendant, Mr. Clarence Allen. Sir, can you just state your name for the record? Thank you, Judge. Today's the date and time set for an adjourned sentence. Judge, today's the date and time set for an adjourned sentencing. We do acknowledge receipt of the pre-sentence investigation report. We'd like to announce that we did not identify any deletions, corrections, or errors. If I may just briefly speak on behalf of my client.
Go ahead.
Well, thank you, Judge. The recommendation is 30 days county time, along with other considerations. Looking at the recommendation, Your Honor, I'm going to ask that the court slightly deviate from the recommendation. My client is currently gainfully employed, working long hours, more than I am, at JSP, a manufacturing company. The relationship has dissolved with the victim, so there doesn't appear to be any concern, direct concern about this act reoccurring with this particular victim.
Yeah, well, what about it reoccurring with another one?
Well, and
that's the problem. This is the third one.
That's why I'm hopeful that the HEAL program that I'm going to ask the court to recommend will assist in ensuring that this behavior ends. There is that recommendation. What I'm going to ask is that that you hold those 30 days, order the 30 days jail, hold those in abeyance. For purposes of giving my client some incentives to get through the HEAL program. As I said, he is gainfully employed, so he is able to work down those fines and costs. I would ask for 18 months of probation, realizing the HEAL program is a self-paced program, and it takes maybe a little bit more than 12 months. Also, Your Honor, I'm asking on the drug and alcohol testing. Reading through this report, looking at the facts of the underlying the incident date, and my client's history with alcohol use, it does not appear to be a factor of direct correlation to this incident, nor does it appear to be an indicator that my client abuses alcohol. It appears that he is a recreational drinker during holidays. It's just not a part of his life. So I'm going to ask that the court strike the alcohol and drug testing component. Obviously, you'll contact the victim, customary fines and costs as ordered. And I think that's it. And it's important to note, and I told my client that he's already on the fence with this type of a recommendation where the probation officer identifies that a jail term appears to be warranted, and by holding those 30 days over his head, I'm hopeful that that will give him the incentive to get through the HEAL program, learn from this, and move on without having to do the 30 days in jail. Thank you.
Sir, what would you like to say? I don't understand why no one ever wants to go to jail when you're a repeat offender. I don't know what you were expecting, but you can tell me.
The first offense when I incarcerated every month was just one person, 3 people. The second one was kind of over a decade, it was a misunderstanding. But I learned from my situation. Warren Buffett, I'm trying to get my life back on track. Working full time, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I don't have any time to do any fooling around. 35 years old. I'm trying to get my life straightened out.
And I did tell him to come back with his warrants cleared, because that could be the pivotal point where the court would say that's enough. And he did clear the warrants. I can represent, he does have the receipts.
Well, you know, Mr. Allen, it's good that you come to the realization at 35 that you need to get your life together, because you probably really do. And you have enough years left in your life to probably do that. The problem is this behavior right here is not good. And it's not the first time, and it's not the second time, it's the third time. Whether it's the same person or not, it doesn't matter. You have to step back out of yourself and look at yourself and ask, what am I doing that causes me to continually get into this problem? Whether it's 10 years, 5 years, 2 years, or day after day, it's a problem. You have to learn how to control tempers, emotions, and deal with circumstances of life, because everybody's going to be mad about something. People are not going to react the way you want them to react. You have to then take control of the only person you can control, and that's you. And you don't know how to do that, apparently. Because if an argument occurs, and it's what you said happened here, quote, misunderstanding about another female. I don't know, that's life. There's always a misunderstanding about another female in a relationship. It seems to be that's the constant problem going on, or a misunderstanding about another man. So the thing to do is sever the relationships. If that's a problem, she should have severed from you if she thought you had another woman, and you should have said, oh, if I need another woman, I don't need her.
That's what I'm not doing with these females right now. I'm focused on myself. I'm not trying to deal with.
Well, how you gonna focus on yourself?
Staying away from.
No, you need to do more than staying out of trouble. You need to focus on yourself as a person, how you react, what you do. Learn new concepts to control your behavior. You got an 11-year-old son. If he's seeing this kind of behavior, what do you think he's going to turn into? He's going to think it's okay. Oh, my daddy pushed her. That's fine. I can do that. That's how I'll control this lady I'm dating, too. You don't want to pass that legacy down, because that's not the way it should be. Nobody should be controlling anybody like that to that extent. And if you don't get it together, that's the lesson you're going to be teaching, whether you know it or not.
I'm going to get it together.
And this recommendation is it's not out of the ballpark at all. Third domestic violence case, 93 days, credit for 72 days held in advance, which means you do 30 days. Why shouldn't I do that? I don't promise me nothing. Promises don't mean too much. Actions mean more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. My actions on the show, like you said, I took care of my court system with the court more. I got those days. I go to court next week on the 28th.
So you don't think you should have any jail time? Is that what you're telling me? Because that ain't happening. You're getting something. Just let me tell you that.
I just feel like my job, take care of everything.
You better make some.
I am trying to make some arrangements with you, and let's understand that I'm committed to getting my life in order, to getting myself in a situation, in a better situation.
Your Honor, can we do one weekend down at county, just to kind of let him?
No. One weekend on a domestic violence, the third one, no. What is that, a slap on the hand?
So the recommendation is 30 days in the summary, and then down at the recommendation, it's 72. To be held in abeyance.
Well, it looks like so they're asking for about 21 days here. That's what that says. Even though they asked for 30, if you give them 93 minus 1, that's 92. If you take 21 off, it's like 71 days. It's about 20 days in jail. That's not bad.
If he's gonna do a jail term, Your Honor, will you consider straight jail, no probation?
No,
Okay, I'm just asking.
rehabilitation is necessary
I'm
in
just-
his case, because he gonna come back.
I fully understand. I'm just,
If he doesn't get some kind of understanding of how to change, he's coming back, and we don't want that.
I'm getting to understand what my family and everyone is working. I'm getting to understand.
All right, so the people wish to be heard in this hearing,
Yes, Your Honor, briefly,
and I'm doing 24 months of probation.
as I'm pretty sure you touched on, but I'm not. Domestic violence in 09, domestic violence in 2017. I'm not exactly sure how this is in a felony, but he's edging close, so, the people would request that you hold more time over his head. You go with whatever jail time you've already determined, but, there has to be serious corrections in this, otherwise he's gonna end up ultimately going to prison one day.
will you consider allowing him because he is?
I'm gonna let him go weekends.
No?
I will let him go
Thank you,
weekends.
thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
But you have to go straight to work and go straight back to the jail when they ask you to, because otherwise they'll consider it an escape if you don't come back. So you don't get to like go over here and do something and go there. You just have to come straight back when they ask you.
And then he'll get more jail time on top of that.
Right. All right. Sentence of the court, 24 months of probation, $960 of oversight fees, a $500 fine. 93 days in jail with credit for one, and we're gonna hold 72 days in abeyance to see how he does. And so the rest of those days, from 72 up to, I guess, 92, those 20 days will be done in jail, and he will do weekends.
So he can turn himself in on Friday, get credit for Friday after work, and then Saturday and Sunday, and then be back to work.
Right, that's the way they generally do it. Is he prepared to report today?
Can he turn himself in to the jail on Friday after work within, 6 p.m.? Can he turn, how long does?
What's the latest they take?
Oh, they'll take it at 7 o'clock. That's no problem.
Friday, then this is March 22nd,
He needs time to commute. Is he going to
Yeah,
OCJ?
OCJ. And he'll give him the information. He has to be there by 7 p.m. Conditions of this probation are 3 days of community service at a nonprofit agency. We're still gonna do alcohol and random drug testing. The domestic violence heal program. He will do an extended anger management class as well. He will have no contact with the complaining witness in this matter. They don't have any kids, so it shouldn't be a problem. No contact with Asha Boykins. ASHA Boykins. Show proof that you cleared up the warrants.
I have that right here.
So yeah, you can show that to your probation officer. And also, maintain your employment.
Can I motion for a payment plan that's
He
commensurate?
can have that. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee. There is a PSI interview fee of $100. There's a missed appointment fee of $50 and a $200 counsel fee. And, I think that's gonna complete the terms of the probation. He's going to have over the course of probation to pay on the fines and costs. He'll work on a payment plan with his probation officer that he must stick to.
Did you, I may have not have heard you, did you order him to the HEAL program?
I did.
Okay, thanks, Judge.
HEAL program and an extended anger management class. And the 3 days of community service at a nonprofit agency. Okay,
And he can work on those programs during the weekdays after work then, or should that program start after he does his jail term?
probation's gonna tell him,
Dictate how.
they're gonna tell him when to
Sure.
start.
And what
I'm
is it?
assuming that he can start and be doing those during the week.
Okay. He'll be busy.
Oh, good. He'll be working on himself so that when he leaves from this whole process, he'll be better off than when he came and he won't
Yes.
ever get one of these cases again.
We understand. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, that concludes this,
This is
ma'am.
Mr. Inside.
Okay.
Mr. Right, did go and we can Andrea give you the report. showing
Oh,
he did what he was supposed to do. And Prescott, they needed to delay till after the tax. If he did not pay the institution.
Oh, okay, well, let's deal with that right now. Okay. Case number 23S00816FY, State of Michigan versus David Prescott.
Robert Shockley on behalf of the people.
Attorney Morales, on behalf of David Prescott, Mr. Prescott is appearing to my right.
Okay, Mr. Prescott, your name for the record. All right, Mr. Prescott, well, we're here for sentencing on these matters. This is, malicious destruction of property was reduced to, greater than 200 for less than 1,000, with restitution of $3,000 to be paid prior to sentencing, and then there's the breaking and entering without owner's permission as well. So we had adjourned it from November 8th, to January 26th for him to be able to pay that restitution. And then January 26th, we adjourned it for him to pay the restitution to today's date. And my understanding is he still doesn't have the restitution. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. My client on the 26th stated on the record that he was waiting for his home to sell and he was going to use proceeds to pay the restitution.
You gotta be kidding me. What if his home doesn't sell till like next year?
So he failed the inspection. However, tax season is here and my client is going to use the tax money to pay the restitution. Plus the home is expected to sell in April because the,
He has an offer.
Yeah, I've been had an offer already, but I failed the inspection, so they come back out. We had had water damage in the basement, mold in the basement.
Sure.
They come back out for the inspection. on
Good for you,
April.
but we can't wait for that. That could be, who knows how long that could take.
Yeah, I mean, I never.
We've already been November, December, January, February, March. It's spring.
Yeah, I mean,
You're going in the summer. We can't adjourn this case for like a year for you to be able to pay $3,000. You gotta come up with something. A bank loan, perhaps.
I had that, I could pay it.
Yeah, because they let you pay.
I'm
the
just
bank.
not available to me.
No kind of loan. All of those offers you get in the mail that say, hey, you know, you want a short-term personal loan for $1,000 or two. You can't do any of those.
When they come on your computer in the last week,
No,
That's
sir.
not-
You can't bring me into this. Because you're not gonna have this deal if you can't pay this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I definitely understand it.
So so taxes are due. Have you filed them? And when are you expecting them back? You didn't do it with that instantaneous, we give you your refund check early.
I've been filing taxes for a long time, so I'm not about it.
So do you know you're getting money back?
Yeah,
he just needs a little bit more time. He
Well, that's
has
a little bit more. When did he file the taxes?
last week, they said it takes, 30 days, something like that.
I used to be a tax attorney, takes around 21 days, set it for tax day, doesn't have it, it's done.
You're on a 3 week session tax.
And you're ready on both of those?
I think it's great.
Let me tell you, I can't do this. This is your last return. You need to be working on a backup plan. Whatever it is, in case this tax money doesn't come, because you already heard what he said, this was it. He's like,
I
no.
mean, that's what I mean, really have to do. I'm a full-time father to a sick kid. I really don't have time to do anything else.
You don't
I
have
got
time.
to do
Well,
money.
this is your life. If you don't have time for it, don't know what to tell you.
I'm not saying I don't have time for it, I just,
Sir, do you realize that these were reduced down, these charges? With the idea that you would go ahead and be able to pay the restitution and have this misdemeanor, otherwise it's gonna be a felony.
I'm
Do you
not attention.
understand the difference between a 5-year felony and a 90-day misdemeanor, which is what you originally had, and a 1-year misdemeanor and a 90-day? I'm just trying to drive the point home that you should try to find some time, because I don't know how you're going to be beneficial to your child if you're walking around potentially in Jackson prison on a felony, which is where this is going. I don't want to deal with those. We just send them up to circuit court if there's sufficient evidence to do that. They send people to Jackson, not the county jail, not small little sentences. Most of the time it's prison. So you're telling me what you don't have time to do? You should probably rethink what you have time to do for your own sake, so that you can try to figure something out to keep this deal that you got, so that you can be there for your child. That's all I'm gonna say. What's the adjourn date? After tax day.
April 26th at 9:30.
How about that, Ms. Brown?
That works for me, Your Honor. Thank you.
4/26, so we've got about a month. 9:30 a.m. by continue.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay. Recalling case number 23S00982SM, State of Michigan versus Matthew Perryman.
Robert Sharpley, on behalf of the people.
So, this is.
Yeah, so you're, good morning.
She don't want to be part of it, right? Okay, well,
I guess you just have
well, Mr. Perryman is here for sentencing. We do now have a pre-sentence report on this domestic violence charge. I've also got a letter from Westside Cultural and Athletic Club dated March the 12th. And then I've got a letter from the complaining witness.
And Your Honor, regarding the pre-sentence report, I have reviewed it with my client. There's only one minor correction I was saying that's on the second page regarding his age.
Okay.
It says the defendant's 50 years old. He actually doesn't turn 50 until December. He's 49 years old.
Let me find that.
Now, Judge, if you recall, the court had revoked my client's bond at the plea hearing. And my client issued a new bond, posted the bond, I think the next day, the same day. I had requested a cop's evaluation from the court. The court had extended, at the time, a cop's evaluation not to exceed 45 days jail.
Okay.
The recommendation here, the recommendation for probation, for 2 years probation.
Mhm.
I've talked to my client about that, reviewed this with him. Even before I received a PSI, my client had contacted me indicating that he wants the court to give him an opportunity at probation. Now, I know that he has a prior history here.
Well, he wanted jail before.
I understand that, Judge. You know, he has a job. He doesn't want to lose that job. He had an opportunity to think about this. He was in the jail. when the court had revoked his bond, he would like the court to reconsider and to follow this recommendation, give him an opportunity to see how he does on probation. I will note his prior history. There is, I don't believe, any assault history. This is sort of out of character for him. I actually think he's even, Your Honor, might even be eligible for 7694A. I'm not entirely sure.
Well, it doesn't show any prior assault
Right.
cases,
So in probation.
but that's up to the prosecutor.
I mean, probation is indicated,
How does he?
but I'm not
Oh.
as concerned. I'm just making that observation that he has no prior assault history.
Mhm.
The court knows this was a very toxic relationship. He has admitted to what he did in this situation. He doesn't want to drag the complainant down anymore. He's ended that relationship. That relationship is over. I will indicate she continues to try to contact him. I've indicated that he should block her because he's not supposed to have any contact with him himself. He's got tremendous family support. His family has been here regularly every court day. He actually asked some of them not to come today because they have been inconvenienced. He doesn't want to inconvenience his family anymore. He's gainfully employed at Ravers, and it's a car transportation company. He's been there now 2.5 years. He wants to maintain his employment. And as if court can see that the letter that he submitted, does volunteer work for that organization, and they verified that. Considering all the circumstances, I'm going to ask the court to follow this recommendation. If the court, feels that jail is still necessary, obviously the 45 days, you can hold that in advance. I will indicate, Your Honor, that the complainant's mother was a witness for the defense in the trial, and she's actually supportive. It's an unusual situation. She's supportive of my client over her own daughter, whatever that's worth. But he is prepared to be sensitive.
Yeah, the problem that I believe bothers the complainant witness about whatever that situation is with her mother and defendant. Well,
That the 45 days of the court will hold, he can hold 3 days. So if he violates probation, he knows at that point. But the court did indicate that.
I think I gave him that cops because he asked for the deal.
Correct. And it was a contract of 45 days. This is consistent with that. If the court, would give him an opportunity, he has been on probation in this court, see how he does. And if he doesn't, then he'll get what he asked for, which was initially the jail time.
Mr. Perryman, to me, this goes just a little deeper than just this particular lady and the situation where you felt that she was undermining you. Y'all had been arguing about trust, so you grabbed her by the throat, you choked her. Who does that? Don't hear from nobody. This is his words to the pre-sentence report.
I know, that was a short.
And it's her words as to what happened when she was getting dressed. So that's a problem in and of itself. I don't care how mad you are. Who just choked somebody? Could have killed her, blacked her out, whatever. How does that work through a problem? How does that solve her undermining you if she was trying to do that? It doesn't. But I think it goes deeper than this because I'm looking at the family history and what he saw and how he was treated when he was young. He's perpetrating that kind of thing right here. It's not good when someone is a child and their mother's boyfriend abuses them from a very young age. And then he, as a little boy, is watching that same person abuse his mother. That creates deep wounds. You need to heal those wounds. And you need to, when in healing them, forgive that person. You don't have to forget it, but you do need to forgive them for yourself so that you can move on and not harbor any type of anger that's going to cause it to bubble up to the surface in a situation like this. So to me, he does need some evaluations on that issue alone and some help with that. And there's nothing wrong with getting that help because it's not your fault that you got scarred as a little boy. You'd be 6 years old. What does anybody expect from a 6-year-old? So that you are carrying that, whether you know it or not. You are carrying that on your shoulders, and you've never been given a chance to voice how you felt about it, what they did to you, what you saw. And what you need to do is sit down and write that person a letter, whether you mail it to them or not, it's irrelevant. But you need to get all of that out in the form of a letter. And you can mail the letter either to the person if you want or back to yourself. Because then you lift the weight of that problem. And if the letter comes back to you, then you burn it. And it's done. The weight's gone. You've cried at it. You've hated them. Whatever those emotions are, you got them out. You've never done that. So you're carrying them around inside of you, and all of that's bubbling up when you're having a simple disagreement, which what I said in that last case is always about trust some other person, and whether it's the man with another woman or it's the woman with another man. That seems to be the gist of relationships these days. And what I see here, nobody seems to be arguing about money anymore. That used to be the big thing people said caused breakdowns in relationships. It's always another person who's cheating, and what they said and how they treated you. You got to get past that. And the way to get past it is to heal these wounds and then work on this. I do agree. The term of probation would probably suit you well because you got a nice letter here from the West Side Cultural Athletic Club. Say you had made some mistakes, but they don't think it defines your character. And you've been working, shaping and saving lives of children and youth who come from neglected families. And you probably have a lot to say and give to them because you can understand some of what they're going through. So maybe you're not a bad person. That's not what this whole case is about. It's about a person with a flaw, which we all have. Yours just somewhat was a criminal flaw in this instance. So we got to fix it. You got to work on it, and you can heal it. Because you're doing good things with your organization. You and Miss Green, you think that she needs to let it go. She needs to try to work on forgiving you. But you know, when you're choked, that's not an easy thing to overcome. She feels there's all kind of lying and cheating that was going on, that she needs to make peace with that and say, okay, this wasn't the guy for me, and she needs to move on, and you need to move on too. Because this wasn't a good relationship. She's trying to put it behind herself. She feels like she didn't deserve what she went through, especially with the choking. What do the people wish to say?
The people find it disingenuous when a cop's getting come on the day and you got to face what you asked for, and then you want something different because you don't want to own up for what you asked the court for. The people believe some jail time is proper in this matter. On the bond violation, he find it out the same day. On that day, he actually had the requirement to call his probation officer to check in, which he didn't do. He states in the PSI that he uses marijuana 3 times a week, I believe. I have no reason to believe he's going to be successful in probation, especially if there's a testing requirement.
Well, he's going to stop all of that. This is what I'm willing to do. Yeah, the bond violation was sleeping with and having contact with this lady. It's toxic. This whole thing is toxic. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea. Because it wasn't. And she is not happy. And she would like probably be here for 93 days. So this is what I'm going to do. Probation is recommending the maximum term of probation, and I think for a choking incident, I mean, you're lucky it wasn't a felony. You know, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, or by strangulation. Which is what it could have been, but it's not.
My client, will he be allowed to address the court before we close?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, I understand that my record speaks for itself. I never had no type of assault, even though I've been through situations in my life, I never had an assault.
Well, sir, you started off kind of harsh because it wasn't like you pushed her, you choked her.
But the reason why she exposed herself to my son, none of this. Nobody know nothing about. She exposed herself.
So you think that she should kill her for it?
No, I'm not saying that. I said
Maybe she needs some help too.
I had the clean getaway. I should have left then. I should have left when I saw what she did. But I didn't.
And then you violated your mind by going back and sleeping with her.
She was in a rollover accident and I was the emergency contact. And I went to see about it, which you told me not to. And I did. And I admitted to everything. And you said you got to do your job because I violated what you told me to do.
Right. And then you didn't really even stay in the jail.
I had to go to work. I just got me a new house. My mother has COPD and I'm taking care of my mother. And I'm just I asked for the jail time just because the only reason that we came back for the bond is because she was mad when she came to my house at 3:43 in the morning and I didn't let her in. So that's why all these letters is coming back to the prosecutor to make sure that I get some time. So this is just I just think she's just being vindictive. I'm not here to
Sir, she was choked.
I understand.
I'm sorry, but you need to think of what somebody was choking you. Would you call that vindictiveness? Or you call that possibly requesting some kind of justice for what you went through?
I'm not.
Because this is beyond, to me, vindictive.
I'm taking full accountability.
Well, no, you're not. If you're saying vindictive means she's taking something out on you.
That's because I had company at my house. And before then, we were still sleeping with each other. After the fact, she even called the police. And I'm not talking about just one time. I'm talking about every day. I'm
why you wasn't supposed to.
Why I wasn't supposed to. So I'm taking full responsibility of that. But when she got mad, when she seen that I had company, that's where all the rest of this stuff came in. That's why I supposed to have trial on the 22nd, but my bond was revoked and now I'm here on the 20th. So the only thing I'm saying is I'm not trying to drag her. I'm not trying to do nothing. The only thing I'm trying to do is to be done with, do my probation and go on with the rest of my life. I had a job. I was living with her. So I was living with her and I got my own house now. I moved past Detroit. I went from Southfield all the way to Hamtramck. She was at my door at 3:43 in the morning, banging and knocking on the door. When I didn't let her in, the next couple of days, she called the prosecutor, telling her all this stuff. So I understand that what I did. I understand and I take full responsibility for what I did. But I don't want to lose my job and lose my house. And
why do people never want to lose anything and they do some heinous criminal activity? They never want to go to jail and they acting like the court has done something to them if they go to jail and lose their job. You did this.
Excuse me, I'm not saying that. When I came in,
but you say you don't want to go to jail. You don't want to lose your job. What do you expect comes out of this kind of thing?
When I came in here for the bond hearing, I asked you for the jail time just so I can get this behind me.
Okay, well, you're going to get some of it now. You are. This is what you asked for. I'm going to split the difference in a way. So, I think this is what I'm gonna do.
Your Honor, the victim is present here in court today. It's just stated to me that she would actually like to make a statement too.
She didn't want her letter read. Now she wants to say something she can. Slide over, Mr. Madison. Come on up. All right. The maximum sentence on this could be up to 93 days in jail, and that's what the complaining witness wants to see because of the choking. The court has to balance all of this with the defendant's history, And, his lack of compliance with the bond, all of these things factor into what I want to do in this case. He's gotten no domestic violences in the past. He has some traumatic things that happened to him as a child. This, I believe, had something to do with why he goes to the extreme in this particular instance when he got upset. That needs to be fixed, worked on. But nobody should have to be choked. And whether or not you think she's vindictive or not, I don't think so. I think she's looking for some form of justice here. Court's gonna temper the amount of justice that she's gonna get because she's got a conviction on you. She's gonna get 24 months of me supervising you, and I can give you up to the full 93 days in jail if you mess this up. But I'm gonna give you some days in jail because I think it's warranted. You need to wake up. You don't need to be coming back on nothing else. And it's consistent with the cop's evaluation, which was jail, which you asked for. So, send us to the court. And I believe this is necessary for some rehabilitation is definitely warranted here. $24 months of probation, $960 of oversight fees, the fines and costs in the matter of $500, 45 days in jail with credit for the one. I'm going to suspend 23 days of jail if you're in compliance, which means you will do 21 days in jail. I will do that, and I will allow you to do it on the weekends. You will also have a mental health treatment or an evaluation and treatment, I should say, for the mental abuse that I believe you went through as a child. Also, you're going to attend the domestic violence HEAL program. You're not going to have any contact with the complaining witness here, Miss Fran Cheska, that's Francheka Green. And Green with a E on the end. Maintain employment. Take an anger management class. Pay a $75 crime victims' rights fee. Also, you'll pay a pre-sentence screening fee of $100, $200 counsel fee. No alcohol or unprescribed drugs. While on probation, there will be drug and alcohol testing. So the marijuana's got to stop. You need to clear your mind. Okay, so that's going to complete the sentence of the court. He can report to Oakland County Jail this March the 22nd. What time you get off work?
Get off work at 6 o'clock.
7 p.m. And then here's this. And if I didn't say, did you get 3 days community service? You'll do 3 days community service at a nonprofit agency as well. All right, now that completes the sentence.
Your Honor, was that organization is with,
Yeah, you can do it then.
thank you.
If it's a nonprofit, that's good.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, recalling case number.
Mr. Perryman, hold on 1 second, sir. We're gonna come and try and get one.